Tonicity. Tonicity refers to the strength of a solution in relationship to osmosis. In the laboratory, cells are normally placed in isotonic solutions. That is, the solute concentration is the same on both sides of the membrane, and therefore there is no net gain or loss of water. The prefix iso means the same, and the term tonicity refers to the strength of the solution. A 0.9% solution of the salt sodium chloride is known to be isotonic to red blood cells. Therefore, intravenous solutions medically administered usually have this tonicity, and solutions that cause cells to swell or even to burst due to an intake of water are said to be hypotonic solutions. The prefix hypo means less than and refers to a solution with a lower percentage of solute than a cell. If a cell is placed if a cell is placed in a hypotonic solution, water enters the cell and the net movement of water is from the outside to the inside of the cell. A concentration of a salt solution lower than 0.9% is hypotonic to red blood cells. Animal cells placed in such a solution expand and sometimes burst due to the buildup of pressure. The term lysis is used to refer to disrupted cells. Hemolysis then is disrupted red blood cells. The swelling of a plant cell in a hypotonic solution creates turgor pressure. When a plant cell is placed in a hypotonic solution, we observe expansion of the cytoplasm because the large central vacuole gains water and plasma membrane pushes against the rigid cell wall. The plant cell does not burst because the cell wall does not give way. Turgor pressure in plant cells is extremely important to the maintenance of the plant's erect position. If you forget to water your plants, they will wilt due to decreased turgor pressure. Solutions that cause cells to shrink or to shrivel due to a loss of water are said to be hypotonic solutions. The prefix hyper means more than and refers to a solution with a higher percentage of solute, that is less water than the cell. If a cell is placed in a hypotonic solution, water leaves the cell. The net movement of water is from the inside to the outside of the cell. Any solution with a concentration higher than 0.9% sodium chloride is hypotonic to red blood cells. If animal cells are placed in this solution, they shrink. The term crenation refers to red blood cells, means RBC, in this condition. Meats are sometimes preserved by salting them. The bacteria are not killed by the salt, hot by the lack of water in the meat. When a plant cell is placed in a hypotonic solution, the plasma membrane pulls away from the cell wall as the large central vacuole loses water. This is an example of plasmolysis, a shrinking of the cytoplasm due to osmosis. When dead plants do normally dead plants we see along a salted roadside after the winter died because they were exposed to a hypotonic solution. Let's know about transport by carrier proteins. The plasma membrane impedes the passage of all but a few substances, yet biologically useful molecules do enter and exit the cell at a rapid rate because there are carrier proteins in the membrane. Transported carrier proteins are specific. Each can combine with only a certain type of molecule which is then transported through the membrane. It is not completely understood how carrier proteins function, but after a carrier combines with a molecule, the carrier is believed to undergo a change in shape that moves the molecule across the membrane. Facilitated transport. Let's know about facilitated transport. Facilitated transport explains the passage of such molecules as glucose and amino acids across the plasma membrane. Even though they are not lipid soluble, the passage of glucose and amino acids is facilitated by their reversible combination with carrier proteins, which in some manner transport them through the plasma membrane. These carrier proteins are specific. For example, various sugar molecules of identical size might be present inside or outside the cell, but glucose can cross the membrane hundreds of times faster than the other sugars. This is a good example of the differential permeability of the membrane. The carrier of glucose has been isolated and a model has been developed to explain how it works. It seems likely that the carrier has two conformations and that is switches back and forth between the two states. After glucose binds to the open end of a carrier, it closes behind the glucose molecule. As glucose moves along, the constricted end of the carrier opens in front of the molecule. After glucose is released into the cytoplasm of the cell, the carrier changes its conformation so that the binding site for glucose is again open. This process can occur as often as 100 times per second. Apparently, the cell has a pool of extra glucose carrier. When the hormone insulin binds to a plasma membrane receptor, more glucose carriers ordinarily appear in the plasma membrane. Some forms of diabetes are caused by insulin insensitivity. That is, the binding of insulin does not result in extra glucose carriers in the membrane. The model shows that after a carrier has assisted the movement of a molecule to the other side of the membrane, it is free to assist the passage of other similar molecules. Neither diffusion explained previously nor facilitated transport requires an expenditure of chemical energy because the molecules are moving down their concentration gradient in the same direction, but they tend to move anyway. A carrier protein speeds a rate at which a solute crosses a membrane from higher solute concentration to lower solute concentration. First point is molecule enters carrier. Second is molecule is transported across the membrane and exists on inside. Third is carrier returns to its former state. Active transport. Let's know about active transport. During active transport, ions or molecules move through the plasma membrane, accumulating either inside or outside the cell. For example, iodine collects in the cells of the thyroid gland. Nutrients are completely absorbed from the gut by the cells lining the digestive tract, and sodium ions can be almost completely withdrawn from urine by cells lining the kidney tubules. In these instances, substances have moved to the region of higher concentration, exactly opposite to the process of diffusion. It has been estimated that up to 40% of a cell's energy supply may be used for active transport of solute across its membrane. Both carrier proteins and an expenditure of energy are needed to transport molecules against their concentration gradient. In this case, energy AIT molecule is required for the carrier to combine with the substance to be transported. Therefore, it is not surprising that cells involved primarily in active transport, such as kidney cells, have a large number of mitochondria near the membrane through which active transport is occurring. Active transport allows a solute to cross the membrane from lower solute concentration to higher solute concentration. First is molecule enters carrier. Second is chemical energy of ATP is needed to transport the molecule which exists inside a cell. Third point is carrier returns to its former state. Proteins involved in active transport often are called pumps because just as a water pump uses energy to move water against the force of gravity, proteins use energy to move a substance against its concentration gradient. One type of pump that is active in all cells but is especially associated with nerve and muscle cells moves sodium ions to the outside of the cells and potassium ions to the inside of the cell. These two events are presumed to be linked and the carrier protein is called a sodium potassium pump. A change in carrier shape after the attachment and again after the detachment of a phosphate group allows the carrier to combine alternately with sodium ions and potassium ions. The phosphate group is donated by ATP, which is broken down enzymatically by the carrier. The passage of salt NaCl across a plasma membrane is of primary importance in cells. The chloride ion Cl- usually crosses the plasma membrane because it is attracted by positively charged sodium ions Na+. First, sodium ions are pumped across a membrane and then chloride ions simply diffuse through channels that allows their passage. The chloride ion channels malfunction in persons with cystic fibrosis, and this leads to the symptoms of this inherited disorder. A carrier protein actively moves 3 sodium ions to the outside of the cell for every potassium ion pumped to the inside of the cell. Chemical energy of ATP is required here. Now, let's know about ion channels. Ion channels provide hydrophilic pores through which select ions can diffuse, moving down their electrical or chemical concentration gradients. They are characteristically unsaturable and have very high flux rates. Many ion channels are highly specific for one ion and most are gated by either voltage or a ligand. In bacterial K plus channels, a selectivity filter provides ligands are voltage gated. The acetylcholine receptor is gated by acetylcholine, which triggers subtle conformational changes that open and close the transmembrane path. Ion channels together within pumps such as Na plus, K plus, ATPase determine a plasma membrane's permeability to specific ions and regulate the systolic concentration of ions and the membrane potential. Let's know about properties characterize ion channels. First is ion channels can be highly selective for particular ions. Second is ion channels exist in open and closed states. Third is most cells have a variety of Na plus, K plus, Ca2 plus and Cl minus channels. Open states of channels often spontaneously convert into inactivated conformation. Fifth point is next point is transitions between the open and the closed states are regulated. Ion channels are divided into two classes, ligand gated channels and the second is voltage gated channels. Ligand gated channels open and close in response to the binding of specific chemicals, whereas voltage gated channels open and close in response to the electrical potential across the membrane. Most organisms contain a large number of ion channels. One of these, which plays a key role in nerve conduct, is the voltage gated K plus channel. It is closed most of the time but opens when a nerve impulse arrives, dropping the membrane potential from its resting -50 to -70 MV negative inside value to below 0. This voltage change opens the channel allowing a very rapid outflow of K ions. The channels then close spontaneously. The conduction channel is lined largely with hydrophobic groups. Let's know about ionophores. Certain microbes synthesize small organic molecules, ionophores, that function as shuttles for the movement of ions across membranes. These ionophores contain hydrophilic centers that bind specific ions and are surrounded by peripheral hydrophobic regions. This arrangement allows the molecules to dissolve effectively in the membrane and diffuse transversely therein. Example: polypeptide gramicidin from channels. Next is aquaporins. What do you mean by aquaporins? In certain cells, like example red cells, cells of the collecting ductless of the kidney, the movement of water by simple diffusion is augmented by movement through water channels. These channels are composed of tetrameric transmembrane proteins named aquaporins, a family of integral protein discovered by Peter Agre. The aquaporins AQPS provides channels for rapid movement of water molecules across all plasma membranes. These are distinguished from one transporters in at least three ways. First, the rate of flux through channels can be several orders of magnitude greater than the turnover number for a transporter. Second is ion channels are not saturable. Rates do not approach a maximum at high substrate concentration. Third is they are gated, opened or closed in response to some cellular events. Ligand gated channel. First point is ligand gated channel. Binding of an extracellular or intracellular small molecule forces an allosteric transition in the protein, which opens or closes the channel. Voltage or gated ion channels, a change in transmembrane electrical protein (VM) causes a charged protein domain to move relative to the membrane opening or closing the ion channel. Both types of gating can be very fast. A channel typically opens in a fraction of a millisecond and may remain open for only milliseconds, making these molecular devices effective for very fast signal transmission in the nervous system. Let's know about active transport. The active transport molecules are transported always from thermodynamic equilibrium, hence the energy is required. This energy comes from the hydrolysis of ATP from electron movement or from light. The maintenance of electrochemical gradient in biological systems is so important that is consumed almost 30 to 40% of the total energy expenditure in a cell. In general, cells maintain low intracellular Na plus concentration and a high intracellular K plus concentration, along with a net negative electrical potential inside. The pump that maintains these gradients is an ATPase, that is activated by Na plus and K plus. The ATPase is an integral membrane protein and requires phospholipids for activity. The ATPase has catalytic centers for both ATP and Na plus on the cytoplasmic inside the side of the membrane, but the K binding site is located on the extracellular side of the membrane. OVA Ben or digitalis inhibits. This digitalis inhibits this ATPase by binding to the extracellular domain. Inhibition of the ATPase by OVA can be antagonized by extracellular K+. Let's know about ion pumps. Cells have an active ion pump that removes Na plus from cells and introduces K. For example, the cytoplasm of the giant axons of nerves of squid can be squeezed out and replaced by ionic solutions. An activated ATPase is synonymous with the membrane-bound ion pump, and within the cell, Na is located on one side of the membrane and K plus on the other to activate this enzyme. The sodium-potassium pump displays a curious stoichiometry. 3 sodium ions are pumped from the inside and 2 potassium ions from the outside of a cell for each molecule of ATP cleaved. Thus, an excess of positive ions is pumped out with the result that a negative charge develops inside the cell and a positive charge accumulates on the outside. This action of the Na plus K plus ATPase is the primary source of the membrane potential for most eukaryotic cells and is said to be electrogenic. The P-type ATPase the P-type ATPases are characterized by phosphoenzyme intermediates and through inhibition by vanadate ions. The structures are poorly known. In addition to the Na plus K plus ATPases, there is a very active Ca2 plus ATPase and calcium ion ATPase which transports 2 Ca2 plus from the inside of cells to the outside while returning 2H plus from outside per ATP. Mechanism of sorting and regulation of intracellular transport. There is considerable intracellular traffic of proteins. The Golgi apparatus plays a major role in the sorting of proteins for their correct destinations. The protein biosynthesis pathways in cells can be considered to be one large sorting system. Many proteins carry signals that direct them to their destination. The entire pathway of endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, plasma membrane is often called the secretory or exocytotic pathway. Golgi apparatus or plasma membrane are carrier in transport vesicles. A brief description of the formation of these important particles Wi-Fi be given subsequently. Other proteins destined for secretion are carried in secretory vesicles. Proteins that are transported by vesicles are called the cargo. These are prominent in the pancreas and certain other glands. These mobilization and discharge are regulated and often referred to as regulated secretion, whereas the secretory pathway involving transport vesicle is called constitutive light. Translocation is occur post-translationally after the matrix proteins are released from cytosolic polyribosomes. Interactions with a number of cytosolic proteins that act as chaperones, protein folding machineries, RER, and as targeting factors occur prior to translocation. The signal hypothesis was proposed by Blobel and Sabatini to explain the distinction between the free and membrane-bound polyribosome. They found that proteins synthesized on membrane-bound polyribosomes contains a peptide extension at their ammo terminals which mediated their attachment to the membrane of the endoplasmic reticulum. The mRNA for secreted protein encodes an amino terminal signal peptide. The protein is inserted into the endoplasmic reticulum membrane at the same time as its mRNA is being translated on polyribosomes, so-called co-translational insertion. As the signal peptide emerges from the large subunit of the ribosome, it is recognized by a signal recognition particle. The SRP contains 6 proteins and has a 7S RNA associated related to the Alu family of highly repeated DNA sequences. The SRP impose block until the SRP signal peptide polyribosome complex has bound to the so-called docking protein on the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. The SRP thus guide the signal peptide to the SRPR and prevents premature folding and expulsion of the protein being synthesized into the cytosol. The insertion of the signal peptide into the conducting channel while the other end of the parent protein is still attached to ribosomes is termed as co-translational insertion. Thank you.